Hey everyone, welcome to Win the Day, 5 minutes in the Bible with me, your coach, Pastor Nat. Our mission here at Back to the Bible is to move you closer to Jesus today than you were yesterday. And to help you do that, we are going to talk about letting go of the past. In the musical Les Mis, Jean Valjean is being hunted by the pious Javert. Javert is a police officer who is proud of his experience, his background, and his pious living. But his piety would ultimately lead to his destruction. When he was faced with the grace and the mercy from Jean Valjean, it flew in the face of his legalism. Thankfully, Javert's story is not Paul's story. Listen to what Paul came from as we continue our study of the book of Philippians. Paul says, circumcised on the 8th day, of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as to the law, a Pharisee, as to zeal, a persecutor of the church, as to righteousness, under the law, blameless. But whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. Paul has been talking about the danger of legalism. It's that game of religion with just a little bit of Jesus on the top. But you see, once you add or take anything away from the gospel, it's not a gospel. In verse 4, Paul said, if anyone could have been saved by their resume, it was me. And then in verse 5, he gives that resume. He was a Hebrew of Hebrews. He was the pinnacle of Judaism. He was a faithful follower and doer of the law. He had the right last name. And this passion for Judaism, it made him a persecutor of the church. If there was a threat to Christianity, Paul would get rid of it. You see, he got A's in Hebrew school and a perfect performance review. In other words, he played the game of religion. But here's the problem. He was still a sinner who needed a Savior. That's why Paul says, but whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. It's like before his eyes, he looked at his checking account ledger. It's all in the black, credit after credit, deposit after deposit. But in the blink of an eye, he realized he was in the red. Every supposed deposit was really a withdrawal. He was infinitely in the red. His only hope of coming back was through Christ. Here's the reality. Only Christ can give us eyes to see our true ledger. Now, the world will tell you it's fine. There's plenty of money in the account. Keep playing the game. You're going to be okay. And then, like Paul, you meet Christ. And Christ says, I hate to break it to you, you're actually flat broke. But I can write you a check to cover it all. The question is, will you follow me? It's quite the wake-up call for Paul, and now it's our turn. This is my challenge for you today. Look at your resume and ask yourself, how am I relying on my past accomplishments as security for my salvation? What am I doing now to be an insurance policy for my future in heaven? Now, don't tell me that you don't have them. Everyone does. Even I like to sneak in a good work or two to make me feel better. But like Paul, we need to say, it's not about me. It's not about my resume. It's not about what I can do. It's all about Christ. I encourage you, go and find your works-based insurance policy, cancel it, and thank God for His sufficient grace. God's grace is sufficient. And because of that, everything changes.